Before we get to the main content of the video here, there's a few things I wanted to talk about. I thought about just doing a general update video, but figured that this would probably get a little bit more attention. If you want to skip past it, I'll have a timestamp in the description, but if you're a longtime follower of my content, I recommend listening to this, since it does go over some important things. So first of all, we all know that it's been a huge gap between the last Crystal video and this one. There's really no need to talk about it. This is probably going to sound kind of petty to some people, but it actually does really bother me when the majority of the comments that I get on videos are just talking about things like that. So if I'm finally going to take the time to try and produce content, it's really disheartening to have so much of the feedback be things just like, I forgot this was even still going, or like, oh, I can't wait another 8 months for the next one. Or even better, when people say, I forgot, like, I wish you'd update some other series instead of this one. It just kind of makes me feel like nobody really cares, and it puts me in a really bad mood. So sometimes I'll joke about it myself. I'm not saying people aren't allowed to talk about it, but it just, sometimes it does become the only thing I ever hear, and that bothers me. And so that ties into what's sort of the greater issue here, which is my recent lack of motivation to record or really do anything productive in general. Part of it is annoyance over being pestered about it, but mostly it just comes down to me not wanting to feel like it's an obligation. I do my best to keep up with the Patreon videos because I am getting money to do those, but anything beyond that really is just up to my own schedule, and a lot of times I'm not in the mood to do them. Sometimes I can get over it, sometimes I can't. I've heard some people say that it sounds like a sign of depression, and honestly, it kind of is. This isn't really a subject I want to get into too heavily, because I've never talked to a professional. I don't want to, like, self-diagnose, but I probably do have at least mild depression. Sometimes it's worse than other times. It's not a huge issue most of the time, but it can be occasionally. There have definitely been weeks or even months, though, where I've just really not wanted to do anything, and at least in my mind, that's something I have to get over on my own. So when I do a stream and I have to answer the same questions over and over, like when's the next Crystal video, how's BA3 coming along, have you heard of this game, you should try this game, it just makes me want to do those things even less. And I don't want to keep dropping projects or ignoring them for months, but if I force myself to try and work on something just to shut people up, all I'm really doing is delaying how long it'll be until the next time that it becomes a problem again, and then it turns into a chore. So, I started making videos over 10 years ago as a hobby. It's not something I want to give up, but hobbies are supposed to be fun, and it's not fun if I'm only doing it because I feel like I have to. So I'm gonna try to not keep repeating the same point, you get the idea. And I'm making it sound like it's more of an issue than it really is, but sometimes just reading a single comment, like the ones that I'm talking about, can kind of ruin my whole day, even if the person who posted it wasn't trying to be negative. I do get messages from other people who will say things like they've been watching for years, they don't normally comment. I don't want to seem ungrateful for those. I've even heard a few specific people saying, like, oh, I helped them get through a hard time in their life or something like that, and that's really great to hear. Like, when I hear stuff like that, it brightens up my whole day. So I'm not trying to shit on my fan base, it's just I'm trying to explain the headspace that I've been in lately. And so sometimes it can be really hard to want to work on stuff when I feel like it's going to go unappreciated. So all I really do is just ask, maybe think about whether you're saying something that I'll want to hear if you're going to leave a comment, because I do read all the comments. So as for some specifics, Crystal is still going. I'm not going to give myself any sort of deadline for the next video. I would like to try and get them done about once per month, but I'm not going to hold myself to that. Sonic Mania was on hold for a long time until I tried to continue it in a stream a while ago. It did not go well, so that game is basically dead. I'm considering it in basically the same pile as Gex 3 and Nuts and Bolts, where there's a very small chance I could come back to it, but otherwise just kind of consider it canceled. As for games that I've been streaming, Tomb Raider 3 kind of died because Joel was the one playing it and it was pissing him off. I tried Rayman 2, didn't really like it that much. I don't see myself going back to that. Any other game that I started a long time ago and haven't updated in forever, like Spyro 2, Donkey Kong Country Returns, any of that kind of stuff, just sort of assume that they're dead. There's always a chance I might go back to it, but it just depends on my mood. And it does get annoying when people will ask about, like, hey, there was this game you didn't finish 2 years ago. When are you going to get back to it? It's like, just let that one go. So I'll be just kind of starting new projects for my LPs or streams at my own discretion. I really don't need suggestions from people unless I'm specifically asking for them. As for BA3, that has basically been not touched in almost a year. That's not entirely true. I have worked on it a little bit. I'll explain that in a minute, but I'm really not sure what to think about that project anymore, because I'm in a state where I'm afraid to work on it because I feel like the chance of me actually getting far enough to finish this thing is so slim that any time that I spend working on it is just going to be wasted because it's not going to go anywhere. So I have to be in a very specific mood to actually want to work on the game. And I have done that a few times over the past few months. I'll sit down and work on it for maybe 5 hours, and I've been in a position with it where, like, every time I do work on it, I'm basically figuring out a workaround for something, and it'll take me 4 or 5 hours just to get, like, one screen done, because I have to, like, basically come up with a way to reinvent the wheel. And by the time I get done with that, I'm totally burnt out, and then I just stop working on it again. So, basically, if I do start working on the game again, like, and actually making major progress with it, you're gonna hear about it. I'll show that progress. If it continues to sit around gathering dust, I just don't want people pestering me about it or joking about how, like, their grandkids are gonna get to play it, because it, again, just kind of makes the problem worse. And lastly, there is one other thing I need to address here. This is on a more personal level, but I do tend to be sort of an open book, and I feel like it's relevant to my viewers. So, on June 16th, Letters and I broke up. I'm not comfortable going into any more detail than that. I ask everyone to please respect our privacy and not pester us about it. But just to explain where this fits into the timeline, basically the day after it happened, I made the entire Link's Awakening playlist public because she was a co-commentator for most of it, and I just didn't want to have an awkward situation where I was still slowly releasing those weekly in case things ended up getting messy between us. But long story short, we are still staying friends, so it's really not that different of a situation from what happened with me and Martin a few years ago. We've done a few videos and streams after the breakup, including the last part of the Mario RPG randomizer, a few Hollow Knight things that haven't been made public yet. And so far, nobody's actually said that they've noticed any change in behavior between us, so really I'm just bringing it up because word is going to get out eventually, no matter what, and I'd rather have it done on my own terms. So, we're going to continue doing occasional streams and videos for the foreseeable future, just not as frequently as we used to. And to tie everything together, I do have her as a co-commentator on this video because, honestly, I don't think I have the mental capacity to make it through a Crystal video on my own anymore. I feel like I need a second person to try and keep things more interesting. I do plan to change up who the second person is from one video to the next, so you'll be seeing a little bit of variety, but nothing's set in stone yet. I'm just going to kind of make it up as I go, as I usually do. And I think that covers basically everything I wanted to talk about, so thank you for listening, and let's just move on and watch some good old-fashioned, unprofessional Pokemon crap. Obligatory mention that it's been like a year, oh my god, okay, whatever, start the game. That's all you get.
That was a good intro.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only intro you really need. So, let's see, where do I begin? First of all, co-commentary, because I can't be arsed to actually do the video on my own. I figure it would be better that way. Might be cycling through a few different people. We'll kind of see how that goes. But, so, what was the last time I did this? November? So it's been, eight months, I think.
Now.
Oh, good. But yeah, so during those 8 months, not much has happened. in terms of progress in the game. I did do some stuff off screen though, so let me address that real quick and then we'll kind of move on and do things. So, last time, training in the Victory Road, I found Shiny Onyx, so I...
Oh, right, that.
Yeah, so I leveled that thing up and gave it a decent moveset other than Bind, because Bind sucks, but there wasn't really another move to give it, so... That meant I did have to trade it back to Gen 1, use the Rock Slide TM, all that garbage, but I also might have fed it a bunch of cloned vitamins because EV training. Anyway, that thing exists, and in terms of Pokédex stuff, I've not, like, done anything notable on, like, off-screen, I don't think. I do have a few more shinies than I did before, because I cloned the odd egg a bunch of times, and, like, corrupted it. I have, I think, some pictures I'll be able to insert here of the game not knowing what the fuck is going on and, like, throwing a bunch of question marks all over the screen and acting like there was a major issue. So that was fun.
Same.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, so yeah, I have a shiny Tyrogue. It exists.
Didn't you miss me?
I think there's a shiny Smoochum. Yeah. I think there's like an Iggly buff.
That thing looks terrifying.
It looks a little upset, yeah. I don't know what's going on with that face. This is the shiny one, right? Yes. And, I think it was an Iggly buff was the other one. I don't frickin' remember. Point is, I was trying to get a Magby, because I still never got one of those out of the egg, but I didn't succeed. And, like, I'm pretty sure I picked up the odd egg for good now and saved over it, because cloning is kind of annoying and I fucked up the timing or something, so that's not possible to get any more stuff out of anymore, and I'm kind of okay with that. So Magby will just probably be... For some reason in Gold and Silver, Magbar is available, like, really early, and then in Crystal it's, like, literally the last area of the entire game. So I might trade one in, I don't know. Anyway, let's get on a boat.
I'm on a boat.
So, should I talk about the hideous technical issues now, or do you want to talk about anything first?
All I have is cat stories, so you can go ahead.
Okay. So, God, where the fuck do I start with this? I haven't had to record anything off the GameCube in a long time, and in the many months that have passed since the last time I did this and now, I have made a few changes to my recording setup. Most notably the fact that I now can actually get audio... Wait, I don't have a ticket? What the do I have to talk to Elm? I think I have to talk to Elm. Anyway, so, like, I now have audio coming through the computer, which was a problem before. I hated not having that, and, in the process of setting that up, it fucked up a bunch of other stuff, so basically I had to wage war against OBS to even get it to pick up anything off the GameCube, because it's extremely nitpicky about how you have your settings. You have to change it in a bunch of other programs, or at least one other program. Sometimes it's like two others. Are we getting interrupted?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi. Oh, did you bring me peaches?
No, they're for me. I'm just gonna eat them in front of you.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mommy. I'm doing a video.
With
Josh.
oh, it smells like caramel pumpkin squirrel in the everywhere.
That's because I have a caramel pumpkin squirrel candle going.
Funny how that works.
Are we gonna have plans all day tomorrow?
Not all day.
Oh.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Alright, interruption aside.
Sorry.
That's okay. Well, anyway. God, I forgot the music in here was freaking weird.
This peach is damn good.
So yeah, I had to basically battle against OBS to get this thing to actually pick up any video at all. And the thing is, I had to play with a bunch of settings to get it to work, and when I got it to finally pick up sound, it started doing a thing where as soon as it would actually start streaming video, the program would crash, but not in a way that you'd expect. It would give me a pop-up that basically just says, uh-oh, OBS has crashed, do you want to save a log of this? And whether I say yes or no, the program will then close. But it doesn't close until I do that. So I'm currently recording with this crash pop-up open, because it's the only way for me to apparently use the program. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I need to have Joel look at it, because he's just magic about this kind of thing. But, like, I had to basically fight against this thing for, like, 2.5 hours to even get it to this point, so if the video quality is a little lackluster, or, like, the sound is not balanced perfectly, then you're just gonna have to fucking deal with it, because I tried my best. Like, I seriously had to do so many things to even get it.
It was a struggle, it was kind of amazing.
Yeah, it was an experience.
I think I asked, so is it working now, like 5 times, and you're just like, I don't know.
I'm like, maybe, kind of? That's a good golem sprite.
He looked derpy. Okay,
Oh.
I don't know where to put the peach dish now.
Peach dish.
Well, it's a bowl, but it had peaches in it, so shut up.
Balance it on top of your left knee.
Oh, fuck.
You had several options to place it somewhere, and your choice was to hurl it across the room and knock over a boudoir. I don't know.
Clearly. Mom is over in the other room playing Origami King.
So she wanted to just play through that whole thing without you watching it, or, like...
No, I've been watching, like, most of it. But she has also been playing while I've been busy.
Yeah, I've still not seen anything of that game. Goes
It's
into room,
good.
checks garbage can.
I'm not
leaves.
enjoying the battle system.
So remind me again why everybody was really wanting this playthrough to come back. No, it's fine. This is exactly why I wanted to have a second person in the video, though, because I have no idea what to talk about.
Oh, you wanted to talk about Sword and Shield, didn't you?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. If you want to talk about your random cats that you've adopted, I feel like you might have already talked about that in like the Mario RPG stream, but it's fine.
Oh, I definitely talked about them, so I'm only gonna talk more about Julius because he's like the one that we've actually like kind of adopted now. So we met Julius's real owners like 2 days ago.
Well, first of all, we should probably explain this is just a random cat that somebody in the neighborhood owns and just kind of lets it wander, or like...
Yeah, it's like an indoor-outdoor cat, and we have bought treats for it, so it often just kind of hangs out on the doorstep and hopes for treats. He's such a cute cat. Julius is by no means his actual name.
Do you know what the actual name is?
I do now. That ties into the story.
Okay.
So, we were just kind of sitting there on the porch, just like chilling with this cat, and we were giving it treats and everything, and these two people walked by, a like lady who looks about in her 30s, and like this little kid who looks like probably 7 or 8-ish. I don't know.
Also, just
I'm bad
pointing
at
out,
judging
I
kids.
didn't use Earthquake against that thing because I was thinking it had Levitate, but this is Gen 2. Anyway, go on.
And I'm just like, haha, wouldn't it be funny if those were Julius's real owners? And I was just like, haha, that would be funny, lol. And then they get a bit closer, and the kid just points at us and goes, "That's our cat!" And I'm like, oh no. Like, are we about to get yelled at? And so, to diffuse the situation, I held up the bag of treats and just go, "We bought him treats." Because that'll make it better.
Mom, what are you buying me? Oh, she bought me a doll, apparently. Okay. I will
Wonderful.
have to go see what that is, I guess.
And so...
Yeah, poison.
She ended up actually being really nice. And we were just like, I told her that I was like such a cat person and I loved cats and like her cat is adorable and very cuddly, and she just kind of laughs and she's like, well, at least someone likes him, and I'm like, oof.
What the hell? What's that implying?
Oh, well, it was probably just a joke. But, yeah. And we discovered that the cat's real name is JC, which we have determined could only possibly stand for Julius Caesar.
Oh my god.
So the cat's name is just, it's Julius.
So,
Julius.
didn't he, like, climb through your window or something? Like...
Well, it was Ryan's window, so it's 35 fucking degrees out here because Canada is bullshit.
Which translates to 95 Fahrenheit. It's surprisingly hot.
Yeah. Like, it usually gets around 30 to 32. 35 is a bit extreme. But yeah, so I was dying, and Ryan's brother Devin is like, we have a spare, like, AC that you can just mount in your window, and that way you can cool down your room. So Ryan's all like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. So that just kind of became, like, the night project. And so to get it in, you have to, like, take the screen out, because it needs to go in the window, and then we had to, like, go to Rona and cut a board, and it was a
You had to do what?
process.
You had to go to Rona?
It's a store. It's like a hardware store.
Do they have Allen wrenches, gerbil feeders, toilet seats, electrocators, etc.?
Oh god.
I'm not gonna do the whole list.
Anyway, so we had to, like, this isn't important to the story, we just had to get a bunch of shit for it. So we had to take the screen out, and then all of a sudden we hear, like, a meowing. We look up and Julius is just in the window, and we're like, oh, Julius! He came to say hi! And then this cat starts trying to climb in the window.
I'm convinced that you put something in those treats, because that is very odd behavior for a cat to just kind of be wandering into someone's house like that.
Well, if the window is open, not really.
I don't know, I mean, I guess I can't really say I've been in a situation where I've had, like, an open window for an animal to come in, but I feel like that's not something they usually do, unless it's just, like,
there's actually,
inside.
like, a whole subreddit called, like, That's Not My Cat, that's just people taking photos of a cat in and or around their house that doesn't belong to them. So it is definitely a thing that cats do.
Okay, fair enough then.
So I had to, like, go outside and make sure the cat didn't go in through the window. I love that cat. We've adopted that cat. The cat is mine.
It might not actually be yours, but close enough.
No, it's mine.
I like this. Hey, I'm not gonna let you come over here because my friend is being a lazy bum and I need you to go find him. It's important. You need to do this.
You stepped on my contact lens.
You're not allowed to go into the west side of the city. No. I don't remember where
Not
it is.
until you get me a new contact lens.
Oh boy, let's check all the rooms again, because I don't remember who it is. I assume it's a
good.
sprite similar to the other guy. Turns out it's just this guy right here. It's not. So anyway, the last time I recorded this game, it was the night before Sword and Shield came out, so I figured it would
Are
be
you poisoned, or is the screen just fuzzy?
the screen's just fuzzy.
Okay.
But yeah, so since it's been a while, I figured we could probably talk about the reception to that game, basically. Because I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but I also don't completely hate it. But I don't know, I'll let you go
it
first.
was fine. Like, it wasn't my favorite Pokemon game by any means, but
Where the fuck is
I don't
the
know,
guy?
I usually find the collection aspect of the games more fun, so I like that you could, like, catch everything without really needing to trade for it and stuff. Like, the version exclusives, obviously, but... words.
I mean, that's my thing too, is have always just liked the series for the collecting, but I don't know, something about the way they did it in those games just annoyed me. And it's not the Dexit stuff. Like, I thought I was gonna have more of an issue with that than I really did.
I liked the wild area.
See, that's the thing, is I actually hated the wild area, and that's kind of almost what killed the game for me. It made it too open-ended, but like I also at the same time, it's like I liked it, but I didn't like the way they did it. I wish that there were multiple areas like that spread throughout the game instead of just one big one like at the beginning, because I have like basically this perfectionist mentality when it comes to the series where I have to get everything as soon as possible, and like that really wasn't much of an option when you have this giant area with like the weather conditions you have to watch out for, and like things are always changing, and then there's the stuff where it's like stuff in this area can spawn between levels 14 and 18, but if it's over 15 you're not allowed to catch it yet, and I found that really annoying. So
yeah, the level restriction was kind of
So, I don't know, the game kind of rubbed me the wrong way in the same way that,
I got my Sinisty pretty early, though.
Oh yeah, I think you did. And, didn't you just get lucky with a, like a raid den or something?
Yeah, it was the one in, like, the ghost area where all the Ghastlies and Duskulls are.
Right. Okay, well, that's all dealt with. But,
yeah, and I did buy the DLC, but I haven't actually played much of it yet.
Oh, I thought you already went through it.
No, I haven't actually done any of the story in the DLC. I just wandered around the wild area. But then I bought Shovel Knight, and now I'm playing the new Story of Seasons game, and Paper Mario came out, and I don't got time for that. I have farming to do.
But just think, you have an excellent scene to look forward to in which Hop licks the top of your head.
What?
I'm totally serious. They couldn't animate it, of course, because that would take effort, so it just fades to black and then it happens off screen, but it totally happens.
Oh, good.
Also, you get to spend several $billion. Or no, I think it's in watts. You get to. I think it's like fucking hundreds of thousands of watts for basically no real gain. Because it's like, hey, do you want to buy a vending machine? Here you go. By the way, there's nothing in it. You want to buy some stuff to put in it? Okay, now you can buy like 2 things. If you spend another 14 million watts, you can put 2 more things in it. It's just, I don't know.
What the fuck?
It's really stupid.
That sounds so bad.
How many of the 150 Diglett did you find?
Oh god. Well, I explored like almost the entire area before actually finding the dude because I didn't want to progress the story, so I didn't go up to the place with the thing.
That's what Joel did too.
Awful.
Anyway, so my overall thing is, like, I don't want to rag on the game too much, because people seem to be very, very opinionated on it one way or the other, and I don't want to be the kind of person who's like, it's bad and you're not allowed to like it, because I don't care. Like, if people like it, I'm happy for them, and I wish I liked it more, because I have loved the series for such a long time, and I'm upset that I kind of have fallen out of it now, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. They will release Pokemon Pancreas version, and it will have only 3 Pokemon in it, but it will have all of the polygons, and therefore it will be good. No, I don't know. I have no idea what any of that meant.
Still doesn't sound like a good game, I'm sorry.
But Pancreas version, though.
I don't know, you're not really selling it. Oh my god.
Yes.
Just eradicate.
It's a good face. It looks like it's just in constant pain.
I mean, it is being forced to battle.
This is true. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to continue bitching, but I will mention the other thing that annoyed me in Sword and Shield, and that is actually the concept of the raid battles in general, because I find them really irritating, just due to how slow they are, and...
Right? Like, all the animations need to be a thing, everything needs to happen, like, oh my god.
They're very, very slow. They're a random element that makes it hard to find specific things that you're looking for. The multiplayer is really kind of irritating to set up and inconsistent. And the Gigantamaxes kind of pissed me off because I don't like the idea of them kind of cycling out and like only if certain ones are available until they decide to like put them back in for a month. That's very Pokemon Shuffle-ish, and I kind of don't want to ever return to that, so... It's just a bunch of stuff kind of came together in the perfect storm to make me not really care for the game that much. I got up to the end and didn't actually do the Pokemon League and have not touched the game in a good 7-8 months now, so... Yeah.
Oh, you never even beat it?
No.
Oh.
Nope, I listened to you beat it, and you were talking about how stupid the plot progression was toward the end, and...
Right.
Oh
god, it got real bad.
I don't think I watched Joel beat it, but I heard him talk about it and kind of just share, like, his experience with, like, how weird it got towards the end. And I was at a point where it's like, okay, I have this team of, like, 14 things that I'm cycling out, and I need to decide, like, which ones I want to actually use for endgame, but I also need to grind them up, and I don't want to do that, and there's a bunch of stuff I haven't...
Well, and you can't even beat the Pokemon League more than once, like...
You can't do what?
You can't go through the Pokemon League more than once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which kind of pissed me off, because, like, I had my team of 12 and I wanted to go through it twice with both of them so they'd all get the ribbon, but no.
Huh, I forgot that you were doing that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I usually don't, but there were so many good things that I wanted to use in this one.
I remember you, enjoying the emo bastard, and, of course, the teacup. Oh. Why am I hearing myself?
Am I alive?
Yes. What the hell happened there?
Sorry. My Discord decided to stop existing, I guess.
Okay. That was unusual.
Yeah, I don't know.
So anyway.
Anyways, the emo bastard.
Yeah, Murkrow. So, I got a metal coat, which I needed to evolve Topaz. As we saw earlier in the playthrough, I had gotten a metal coat off of a Magnemite, but it took me like a fucking decade to get one, and I didn't want to do it again, so I'm like, screw it, I'll just get this one and clone it. Can I leave? Yes. So I need to clone that, and then I need to be able to trade to evolve, and I don't currently have access to a link cable. I need to figure out where Joel put it, so we're not going to be getting a Steelix in this video, but that's fine.
I don't want to, like, be troublesome, but the screen share isn't working, and I don't know why.
Oh. Here, let me reset it. Speaking of quality programs, OBS isn't the only one. We also have the wonders that is Discord and its weird change to how screen sharing works.
Yeah.
So, here we are in Kanto. There's a Snorlax over here. I'm going to stab it in the foot. And then...
No.
I don't know. So, I actually forget. What was your first Pokemon game?
My very first one was technically Yellow. The first one that I actually beat was Diamond.
I mean, you've played through all the generations, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you consider Kanto in these games to be post-game or the second half of the main game?
I always thought of it as post-game.
It's kind of in a weird gray area. I usually think of it as the second half of the game just because, like, you do get credits after you beat Red, and I don't know. I can see it going either way, but point is, everybody already knows that basically this half of the game is kind of watered down and doesn't really have a whole lot of content to it. So I don't know how many videos it's actually going to be if I was just going to go through and, like, do the plot stuff and fight all the trainers and beat all the gyms, but I still have half a Pokedex to fill. Let me see what my totals actually are. Yeah, pretty much. About almost exactly half there. And a lot of those are evolutions of things that I could have evolved a long time ago, I just haven't. And so, of course, one of the big things in this LP has been whenever I catch something new, I do the bio on it, and people have suggested, like, if you're getting burned out on the series and don't want to do the editing on those, then you can just toss that idea. I'm not really prepared to do that. I do still plan to actually do those. I'm not sure how I'm going to handle the evolutions, though, because there's not really a natural way to fit those in, so I might just kind of do those in their little self-contained, like, this is a video of just, like, 20 bios and no gameplay footage, and, like, if you want to watch it, you can, but I would understand if you don't. But we'll figure that out. I think I've talked to, like, everybody in this town, I don't remember. So, as far as progression goes, of course, we have access to 8 gyms, and I believe almost all of them are available from the beginning. Like, this one's right here, and you're kind of expected to do it, like, almost immediately. I'm not gonna actually do that, though. I'm gonna head towards Fuchsia, because I think that one has, like, disproportionately low levels, so I wanted to do that one first. Also, I'm pretty sure there's been 5 generations of games where we've had Kanto. There's the originals, there's this, there's Fire Red and Leaf Green, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and the Let's Go games. And this fucking Machop is preparing the land for a building that has never been built in any of them. They might have done something with it in Let's Go, because I've not played those, but I don't think they did.
No, they didn't.
Oh my god. What the fuck? Do you do anything? Okay. You're a useful NPC. What time is it? 5 o'clock? Yeah. So, when it hits 6 o'clock, we're gonna have access to nighttime encounters. There are some things I wanted to try and catch, probably. I'm gonna make a beeline for some, things that I'm interested in now, and then we might backtrack. Can we actually go through here, or is it blocked off? I don't remember. No, we can. Okay, follow-up question. Is there any point to the underground tunnel? I will go back and look. And I believe at long last we're about to have a move that doesn't suck for Natalie.
Oh my god, yay.
I'm a big fan of how in Saffron City we what do you want? Your Flaffy is dying, and... okay, good. Anyway, I like how in Saffron City we have the Psychic-type gym leader, and then we also have a house that gives you the best Psychic move, but Sabrina gives you, like, a really shitty move. I never understood that. So, I need to clone this TM, which means I need to remember how to clone things. Hopefully we'll lose it forever. That'll be fun. So, tell a story about pancakes.
Oh, I could tell the waffle story.
Do I know the waffle story? I don't think I've heard this.
I think you have, when we made waffles at 2 a.m.
Oh god, yeah, I remember this one now. I don't know if we want to hear the waffle story, actually. Oh god, okay,
It made a mess. It was not well thought out.
Was it the waffle incident?
Yes.
In a perfect world, all of this would be edited out. But this is.
But this is not a perfect world.
And green is not a creative color.
That's a reference to something that I don't remember what it was.
The thing I said, or the thing you said?
The thing that I said.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was.
Oh, wait, I know what it's from. It's from that stupid potion seller video.
Do I want to know what that is? So here we go. Let's possibly lose a good TM forever.
Oof.
Luckily, I don't think there's anything else in... Oh no, I need to clone the metal coat too. I can do that off screen now. Okay, so we deposit the thing. We pee on the wall, you know, as you do.
No, nobody do.
All right, let's see. Yeah. Alright, let's see if I fucked it up. Yeah, brown. And then it turns out that the act of turning the system off will cause OBS to crash even harder than it already has. Honestly,
now there's two pop-ups.
At this point, I would not be surprised if that somehow had an effect on it. It shouldn't, but since when have things worked the way that they should? Okay, we've got it in the party. Do we also have it in the PC? Hey, we successfully did a thing.
Well.
Now we get to do more box management and put everything back, so...
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Yay. That's my favorite.
Okay, I believe Operation A Lot of Box Management is now complete, so...
Wonderful.
Let's, finally get a actual psychic attack on my psychic type here that isn't future sight. Oh, apparently Stantler can also learn it. And Electabuzz, what the fuck? I might clone more of these later on for the next recording, which will probably happen in, like, April of next year. But, let's see, what do I want to get rid of? Probably just future sight. I don't really need Nightshade. I guess it's good for, like... I'm gonna keep Nightshade purely because everything in Kanto is, like, really low level, and I might be able to use that to my advantage to catch stuff. I guess we'll find out. So, we're gonna just ignore Saffron. I think I'm gonna probably head backwards after, Oh, actually, is there something on this route that I can catch? Yes, okay. Let's see what levels we've got here. I think in Gen 1, the stuff here is in, like, the teens, maybe? Yeah, okay.
Huh.
I,
Seems a little overkill.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the fact that Kanto kept its level curve, because, like, even though it makes sense from a, like, consistency standpoint, it also makes it so you're super overpowered against everything that you find in the wild, and it's kind of dumb.
Yeah. Like, I feel like video games shouldn't worry too much about the consistency between games, like...
Yeah.
Eh.
See, I think there's one
like,
new thing
it's consistency over...
Oh, wait, this is the... I'm not even on the correct route. Speaking is sometimes okay.
I don't know how to talk.
There was a time when I did, and then I, made a 2010 era meme, by which I mean I took an arrow to the knee.
Mode.
Look, I'm gonna fucking mail you, like, a box full of bees if you keep saying that. It will be worth the cost. Oh, this place is apparently blocked off. Okay. Underground tunnel, inaccessible because there's a power outage. I guess because it's too dark down there? Do they not have, like, A backup generator?
No. But they do have their very own Pika power source.
Oh my god.
Pika Pika Choo Choo!
Okay, so Granbull exists. Will I actually be able to hit it with Nightshade, given that it's a normal type? No, I won't. Okay.
Nope.
I never remember, because sometimes, like, moves like that are just inconsistent with whether they can actually work or not. Do I still have Mud Slap? No. Okay, Hypnosis and throwing balls. Let's go. And I guess we're going to be coming up on the first of the, like, actual new captures here, if I don't massively botch this up, so I should probably get a timer ready.
Ooh, is this just silence for 4 minutes?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wonderful.
But, hold on, do I... You know what would be good to know if I actually have Pokeballs on me? Yes, I do. Okay. We'll just throw regular balls and see how it goes. What would it? What would it? What would it? What would it? Something tells me this is probably not going to go very well, but, let's, go ahead and cut now, and there will be 4 minutes of bees. Granbull is a Pokemon that I do not find myself thinking about very often. It's, I say this about, like, everything from Johto, but it's just very forgettable and mediocre at best, and much like a lot of other things in Johto, it also has a really crap distribution in, pretty much every game since its introduction. So, I've probably talked about this back with Snubbull, but that was like 17 years ago, so I don't remember. But, Snubbull was a swarm-only, like 1% encounter without the swarm in Gold and Silver, became more common in Crystal. So you're pretty unlikely to use the thing. In Gen 3, it's in the Emerald, like, post-game Safari Zone, and other than that, it's in basically no games, like, until post-game, except for X and Y, in which it can be found relatively early on. And that's pretty much the only time you'd ever want to use one, because starting with Gen 6, it did become Fairy-type. Used to just be normal before then. And that's another one of those great mysteries of life, why this thing is a fairy, because it's pretty much just the, like, Tom and Jerry Bulldog, but pink. I've read some theories as to why these Pokemon are fairy types. Something to do with, like, a Celtic fairy dog, but this doesn't really have any relationship to that. I think they basically just wanted to play on the fact that there's such a weird, like, range of opinions on bulldogs and pugs and those sort of thing, where, like, some people think they're adorable, some people think that they're really ugly. I happen to think that they're ugly, so I don't know. Either way, it's one of the few physical fairy types, or at least in the early generations. There's probably a few more now, so it at least has that going for it, but prior to that, not really so much. It has a pretty high attack stat. All of its other stats, except for, like, HP, are kind of crap. And it's a normal type, so you'd expect it to get some diversity in moveset, and it does, but it doesn't have the special attack to make use of any of those type of moves, so it's pretty much stuck with Return as its main attacking option. It can get, like, Dynamic Punch, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb if you want to give it that, but apparently in the earlier generations, the only reason you'd ever want to use this thing is because it has access to Heal Bell, which is relatively limited, so it's kind of just there for team support in, like, underused. So if you ever want to use one in-game, first of all, the only time you can ever do that is in Gen 2 or 6, so it's like, eh. I don't know. I'm kind of ragging on this thing, but I always found it really forgettable, and it falls into the same category that, like, Wigglytuff and Persian does, where it's, like, the evolution of a mascot Pokemon, where the base form is way more well-known than the evolution is. And in this case, Snubbull isn't even really a mascot either. It was for about 5 seconds when Gold and Silver came out, but then people kind of forgot about it. So that's basically Granbull. I don't really care for the name too much either, because it's It's the same in Japanese, too. It's just literally Grand and Bulldog, or Bully. And I always felt like Grand is a weird adjective to use for anything that's not, like, a location. And judging from this thing's usability, it's also not very accurate. So, if you like Granbull, power to you. I kind of don't. I think it's weird looking, and it's just not very interesting. I have successfully found a thing, and then we will immediately cut to another 95 minutes of silence.
I love its dirty, like, not dirty, I mean, I meant to say derpy face.
Yeah, that's a pretty good face it's making there. I also don't know why it's here. As I will no doubt rant about when I record the bio for this thing, I have no idea why they introduced new Pokemon that are locked to the post-game like this. It's very dumb. But anyway, more bio time, I suppose.
Well...
Slugma is just a very unfortunate Pokemon in a bunch of different ways. Most notably, as we're going to be seeing with a few things here, it's one of the new Pokemon introduced for Gen 2 that for some reason that nobody will ever understand was basically shoved into the post-game. You beat the Elite Four, and if you're lucky, you happen across one of these things in the grass, and at that point you have your team decided and are completely unwilling to pick this thing up. Honestly, even early in the game, it's kind of a tough sell, because you have other fire types available, like Vulpix and Growlithe, and they actually have stats. Slugma doesn't. And it's a damn shame, because I actually do like this thing. I think it's a pretty solid concept. A lot of the Pokemon that are just kind of a very simple idea tend to be some of the best, I think. In this case, it's just literally a living pile of lava that, like, if you had to create something with lava, what kind of creature would it look like? Probably a slug. So it kind of works. But yeah, its stats pretty much reflect what you'd think. It has very bad speed, and pretty much all of its other stats, except for special attack, are also really bad. So you can do some damage, but it doesn't really have a move pool. It has Ember up until basically the point where it evolves, unless you give it TMs, and even then it's like there's no Flamethrower TM in Gen 2, so you're very limited if you want to use a Slugma. And the only time you'd ever really be able to use one, unless you traded it in, is in Gen 3, because it's found after like the 3rd gym. It's used by the 4th gym leader, so at least the games kind of gave it some kind of a presence. A lot of people didn't even realize that it was in Gen 2, just because it was tucked away on Cycling Road. Like, I don't know why they put it there. Is it making fun of the fact that it's slow on the route where people are riding bikes? I don't know. But yeah, there's just... It's one of those baffling decisions. I don't know why they did that. But other than Gen 3, it's pretty much never been available. It's post-game in Gen 4. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, actually, they didn't fix its distribution. They did put some of the other Kanto-only stuff in the Safari Zone, at least, or the Pokewalker. They did not do that with Slugma. It's in the Pokewalker, but only in a post-game area, and the only way you can get one is with an obscure code that I don't think was ever officially distributed from some dude in the Violet City Pokemon Gym. No idea. So, also really just, if you look at its Pokedex descriptions, this thing just has a sad life. It has to constantly be moving, inching its way along, because if it stops, it'll, like, harden and then die, so it can't ever sleep, or if it can sleep, but only next to lava. I'm sure it's unable to get any kind of, like, affection from its trainers, because if you try to touch it, you're gonna burn your hand off. So, I feel bad for the thing. I wish it was better. I will use it to hatch eggs, and that's about it. Name on this one, really straightforward, just Slug and Magma, and the Japanese name is Magmag, which allegedly contains the word slug, but I'll yeah, I'll debate that up and down. Anyway, Slugma needs more love. Whenever you have one of those arguments about how, like, newer Pokemon are super uninspired and, like, bad designs, you always have the counter-argument saying, look at how many things in Gen 1 are really lame and basic, stupid designs, and they always point out Grimer as one of them. And I get what they're doing, but I also kind of disagree, because there's nothing wrong with simplicity, and they wanted to make a pollution-based blob monster, and that's exactly what they did, and I don't really know what they could have done differently. So, that's pretty much Grimer's entire shtick. It's just a blob of sludge, or, like, sewage, or radioactive material, or it's not really radioactive, but, like, it's basically just what you would think of when you think, like, water pollutant. To counteract the air pollutant that is coughing, and then later on we'd also get Trubbish for the just kind of like solid waste. So they kind of form the trilogy of pollution-based poison types, with pretty much every other poison type in the series being based off of something that is like naturally poisonous or has like toxins, venomous, that kind of stuff. And so if you are interested in that kind of thing and think that makes an interesting Pokemon idea, then Grimer will probably be fairly serviceable. Now, as for why there's living sludge, the Pokedex answers that by saying that apparently it was brought to life by X-rays from the moon. And that is one of those moments where I have to question if the Pokedex is just making stuff up. But it actually does sort of tie into the thing that you would see in the older games, or like in the show, where they're always like, did Pokemon come from space? And it's usually, like, they'll bring that up with Clefairy, and then kind of just leave, like, an unanswered question, like, maybe all Pokemon came from the moon. It's like, no, they probably didn't. But maybe that's what they were going for with this. I don't know. It's a weird detail to add. I'm fine with it just kind of being, like, some sewage that came to life for no particular reason, and then just kind of multiplied from there. I don't know. So, anyway, in Gen 7, they gave it an Alolan form, which has the exact same stats as regular Grimer, but it's part Dark, so it loses the Psychic weakness, but I don't know if Dark really does too much else for it other than, like, stab on bite, because it has teeth. It's apparently hardened toxins, like crystallized toxins. It's weird. Most interesting thing to me about Alolan Grimer is the fact that the regular Grimer is purple and the shiny is green, and then the Alolan version is reversed. And for some reason it has like this yellow stripe around it, which just to me looks like it was like it dipped its face into a bowl of nacho cheese and then didn't wipe it off, which is kind of gross. But it's fine for what it is. I like its evolution a lot better, but okay. Japanese name on this one is Better, which comes just from the onomatopoeia, which means sticky. I guess that's not really onomatopoeia, I don't know why I said that. You have to bear with me on these, I've got nothing to say. It's a blob monster. It learns blob monster type moves. It gets, like, sludge and mud bomb and that kind of thing, and it goes off the wrong attack stat for those, because those are special moves, but it has higher physical attack. It's like, But, like I said, it's serviceable, it's just not super interesting. Alright, things have been successfully caught, and now we can stop awkwardly sitting in silence for time to pass. And instead, we'll awkwardly sit in silence because I don't know what to say about the game usually. But,
Same.
See, that's a same that I'm unhappy with, because I need you to not have things. Sentence aborted. Goddamn. Anyway, so I'm definitely noticing a hell of a lot less trainers here, or sorry, fewer trainers. Got to be grammatically correct. I don't know why I have to be grammatically correct, but whatever. This is all I have left to talk about. Help, somebody, please. No.
Grammar!
So yeah, there's like, what, like 5 trainers here? I like the one who's like, let's have a speed battle, and then sends out a coughing. Like, what the fuck? But, oh hey, it's Biker Charles. They reused him as like a semi-major character in Black and White for some reason. Also, that reminds me, when I asked earlier if you've played every generation, I forgot that you skipped over 5. And then we...
Oh, that's true.
We did that stream and just never finished it.
I want to.
Well, I mean, we still can. I tend to forget that it existed. Every time I do remember, I just like, maybe I'll ask about it next time, and then I just never do.
Yeah, I haven't really been in a Pokemon mood for a while.
That's fine, I know you're going through a bunch of other games, too.
So many other games.
And at least 3 of them are brown.
Well...
I mean, Dirt is brown, and Harvest Moon is about farming, so that one is at least brown. Paper Mario, paper comes from trees, trees are brown. Okay, I don't know where I'm going.
Shovel Knight, dirt is brown.
Yes. This is the quality commentary that you get. No,
What games are brown? Well...
Is there anything on Route 18 that I give a shit about? Let me look. I don't think there is.
Oh my god, I have so much grass, it's getting out of control.
There is not anything I care about here. So, current goal is just kind of go through the Poison Gym, and then when nighttime falls, catch some other shit that only appears at night. And then, yeah. I could have gotten Muck on that route, but it's a low % encounter rate, and I don't feel like dealing with it at the moment. We'll probably get that one next time. In the meantime, we can, speaking of Brown, do you remember Brown the Doduo? I'm guessing you probably don't, because it wasn't very...
No.
I don't know if it was from anything you would have ever watched. I'm trying to remember what that was from. I think it was, Yeah, actually, I don't even know if that was ever streamed or anything. It was a, playthrough of, I think, the first Mystery Dungeon. Like, Joel was playing, and we had a Doduo named Brown, because it has 2 heads and it's brown, and that was the best name we could think of.
That's wonderful.
It's a good name for a thing. Also, I really hate how, even the slightest movement causes my chair to squeak ridiculously loudly, and I don't hear it because technical issues have caused the game to be stupidly loud in my headset, so it's basically drowning out everything else. But then I'll go to the recording and it'll just have, like, constantly.
Good god.
That was a good noise.
What are you...
What?
deeming as good?
Bad.
So the usual, then.
Yes. Alright, Bob, what have you got? You had 1 Pokemon, and this was the one you chose. I was kind of expecting a Farfetch, to be honest, so at least this is a step up from that.
You're not very far-fetched, are ya? I'm sorry.
But are you really?
Debatable.
Also, it survived an Ice Beam. It,
What the
was
fuck?
slightly better than I expected it to be. It managed to do, what was that? 16 damage to me, except I was also burned, so maybe not. Anyway. I always found Fuchsia City kind of annoying to get around in. It's very awkwardly laid out. Okay, where the fuck... How do you... Why?
What in the hell?
Why is it laid out like this? Who designs a city like this?
I mean, we have a river going through our city.
Well, that can't really be helped. This, they could have, like, put a staircase leading up to this awkward Pokemon Center, just kind of tucked away in the corner up on a hill where you have to, like, find the secret alleyway to reach it. Like, what is this shit? Okay. I saw these weird slow Pokemon on Cycling Road. Yeah, because Professor Oak was so certain that there were only 150 species, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, this other half of the island that we live on has other stuff, and also some of it is just kind of over here now.
Same.
Look, I will fucking stab you. No.
Please.
Who knows how long it would take to move this? I think the answer is approach from the south and they're gone. I don't actually remember what gets rid of these. They're just like, we don't want you going over to Cinnabar, but you still can. It's just inconvenient to do so. Oh, ooh, this is good right here. This is Route 19. This is Fuchsia City. So these 4 tiles count as a different area.
Same. No, stop. I'm sorry.
God. Okay, anyway, I guess I might as well do the gym. I'm right here. It feels weird for gyms to just kind of be like a non-important event, but I mean, it's Kanto gyms in Gen 2. So I want to say... Actually, I don't remember what the... Let me look up what Surge's levels are like in this. He has 44 through 46, and that is the first gym that you would encounter when entering Kanto for the first time. Now, Janine has 36 to 39... No, 33 to 39. That is over 10 levels less than the max that you would have fought in the Elite Four. I can't say I understand the logic behind that.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure most of this game was just kind of put together with like a hope and a prayer, and not much thought was put into it. Also, this person just kind of had the Bulbasaur family. They are poison types, just not what you would usually think of. Also, I have a complaint about Janine's team now that I'm looking at it, but I'll wait until we get to that, I suppose. Quick, put together a well-thought-out and organized essay on your thoughts of poison type.
Wait, which poison type?
Just, like, in general.
I think it's an interesting type. Like, I don't hate it. I don't know.
I mean, I did,
There's some good...
I didn't expect much. I was just like, what are we talking about here? I did recently learn that apparently, if a poison type uses Toxic, it gives the move perfect accuracy. I never knew that was a thing.
Oh.
I don't know what generation that started in. I usually don't use Toxic, so I never ran into that. Also, I don't know which one of these people is the gym leader, so I will probably need to start saving before them. I'm pretty sure it's not this one, though. Alright, will I get through the entire gym without taking damage? The answer is no, because I actually took damage in that last one, but... Shut up. Didn't we just fight one of these? No, it was a Queen. Never mind. So how about that local sports team?
You know, that.
I'm actually curious, what temperature is it here? Because I made a joke yesterday about how, like, you stole the hot weather that we were having, and I'm pretty sure that's actually kind of true. Let's see. Apparently it's 75, which is what I would consider basically the perfect summer weather. It's not too hot, and it's... yeah.
25 is still too hot.
Well, yeah, because you're used to it being like negative 15, so...
Between like 15 and 20 degrees is perfect.
Okay, I want to say it's this one, but I don't remember. Let's see. Or actually, no, because I think you would think that the gym leader is the one in the center, but then it's actually not. Let me see. Yeah. Foo.
Foo.
There was an old observation I made about Foo back in, like, the Emerald LP from 10 years ago. And, I don't remember what that observation was. Something about the F noise and the H noise being similar in Japanese or some shit. I don't know. I had it explained to me a few days ago. I don't remember. Oh boy, that was a good move they picked there. They're using a grass type. I'm rock and ground. What should I use? Poison powder. Absolutely. Well, you've got another chance to use a grass move. Let's see if you'll actually choose it this time.
Probably not.
Oh, there, I even gave you a free attack because I missed. Nope. Okay, what the fuck is this thing's moveset? It did 1 damage. What the hell is this gym? So, like, in Gen 1, Koga ran the gym and then apparently got promoted to the Elite Four somehow. I don't know how. And so it's like now his daughter took over. Is this just supposed to be showing that she's really fucking bad at it? Or, like...
I don't know. It's weird that they picked Koga.
Yeah, out of all the gym leaders, he's not the one I would have expected to get promoted, because... I don't know, it's like, I've always just had this bias against the poison type, because Psychic was so overpowered in Gen 1, you were pretty much, like, you never wanted to use a poison type because they would get destroyed, but, eh.
Yeah.
Clearly the Karate King from Saffron City, or whatever the hell his name is, he would get promoted. They would have both him and Bruno. It wouldn't be redundant at all.
No, of course not. I like the old lady ghost type trainer trope.
Are there a bunch of those? I'm trying to think who there is.
There's
other
like
than
at
Agatha.
least 2.
Okay, so I think you're the actual gym leader, and I am over preparing like crazy here, so yeah, just let's do this shit.
Just go kick ass.
Okay, so there was a ongoing trend with the Kanto gym leaders where they, I think out of all 8 of them, there were a total of 3 Gen 2 Pokemon that actually made it into any of their teams. And here we go, Crobat. You know, stick him in Kanto. I mean, to be fair, this one's at least like an evolution of an older Pokemon, so it's not that bad, but... ugh. So many strange decisions in these games.
Yeah.
Also, I should probably stop using this Onyx before I evolve it, because, like, it doesn't need to be getting this unnecessary screen time. You're not allowed to get screen... I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, there's my excuse to switch out, then. Here, you pick what I should use.
Wait, what is he sending out?
Nothing yet. It's still the Crobat.
Oh. Use James.
Not sure how I feel about Crobat's design either. It's... I don't hate it, it's just kind of weird. It went from, like, the entire body of Golbat is just the mouth, and then it's like, we're gonna get rid of that concept. I don't know. They do that with a lot of evolutions.
Yeah. You could rant about... Oh my god, what is it? Colossal?
See, I didn't mind Colossal. I do feel like they had a thing going there where it's like... It was building up to being like some kind of train thing, and then they're
well,
like,
it took
nope.
two things with wheels and then gave it legs.
Yeah. Yeah, it went from like a weird unicycle thing to a like minecart, and I was fully expecting it to go with that motif and become like a train engine or something, and I named mine Chuffy, and then it's like, no, just, you know, bipedal rock monster. I still thought it was an okay enough design. It was kind of like Aggron and that sort of stuff. Like, it's fine, but I don't know.
Yeah, like, it's cool, but wasted potential.
Yeah. Speaking of wasted potential, I still don't know why Poltegeist is pure ghost. It should have been part water. I don't know why Cursula is pure ghost.
Right?
And,
are there any ghost waters? Oh, right, the jellyfish.
Yeah, I think it's just Jellicent. I also still don't think that, what's it called? Runerigus should have been Rock Ghost instead of Ground Ghost, since we already have, like, 2 Ground Ghosts, but... Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, here's a level 33 Ariados. Like, 33, really? Also, Gen 2 Pokemon in the Kanto side of the game. Couldn't have given that thing to Bugsy, definitely not.
Venomoth.
Venomoth is a Pokemon that exists, and that is about all that I can say about it. Oh,
That's...
a dire hit.
Oh.
What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that you can say that about most of the books. It's like, yeah, they exist.
I don't know. Venomoth is like... It's one of those things that I always will just kind of sometimes remember that it's a thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've actually used that thing like a couple times, and it's fairly unremarkable. It gets a bunch of psychic moves for no reason. It has wings and yet is not a flying type and doesn't have levitate. It's inoffensive, but yeah. Alright, well that was the gym. It was a real thrilling battle we had there.
I can't believe it's almost August.
I can't believe
That was,
I ate the whole
that was
thing.
random. I was just looking at my calendar and I'm like, holy...
I might give that Toxic Tam to something, I don't know what. It can be taught to basically anything, because for unknown reasons, every Pokemon is apparently just capable of generating some kind of corrosive substance. Oh, good.
Oh no.
Turns out this is a Nuzlocke.
Oh god.
Okay, so I believe we have about maybe 10 minutes until it becomes night, and then I was going to go back and catch some other stuff, and because those are going to have the bios over them, I figure we... oh. Okay. Might kind of wind down the actual live commentary at this part, so I know you've been holding on to some big, major, important, exciting thing to talk about. So now's the time to talk about it, and also no, there wasn't.
Have I?
No, there wasn't at all. I was hoping that you would suddenly come up with one.
Oh no. Where's my random topic generator when you need it?
Oh my god.
I mean...
No, it's fine. we will...
I can't even talk about D&D.
I guess because it would be, like, out of context, so... Oh, or because you canceled the one yesterday, so...
Yeah.
The Safari Zone Warden took a vacation and also died.
Well, we almost all died in the last session. Except it was a planned almost all die, so...
Wow.
But we didn't know that it was a planned almost all die, so we were all kind of, like, freaking out a bit.
Okay, I'll bite what's in this pool. There are apparently Gyarados in this pool. You know, this small pond here, 20-foot sea serpent, makes about as much sense as I'd think. How long until night?
You never know how deep it is.
Well, we've got to wait another 12 minutes. Let's see. I could change the time, but it wouldn't really be worth the effort. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Okay, so the Safari Zone has been replaced with an empty building. They couldn't have even put somebody here with some flavor text. Also, there used to be, like, a zoo. Where did that go? Hold on, let me get something with cut.
I was gonna say there was a cut tree there.
Yeah. I will point out I am pleasantly surprised that the rooftops in this city are at least actually fuchsia colored. But, let's see, who do I not want on the team? You need to stop getting string time until you evolve, so you go into the purgatory box. And, like, I'm just randomly being mean to it for no reason.
How fucking dare you exist right now?
Don't remember what I had with cut. I think it was a Krabby. I reorganized my boxes and made everything, like, Pokedex order, so all of my HM slaves are, like, scattered to the winds. Let's see.
Oh.
Do you have cut? You do, okay. No, I don't want to look at you again. Stop.
How dare you show your face here?
How dare you stand where he stood? I don't know who the he is in that context.
I guess the Onyx, but you were also being mean to the Onyx.
I will be mean to everything at all times.
Mood.
Hashtag relatable.
Hashtag samesies. Oh my god, twinsies. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No littering.
I'll leave. Is this the park?
I mean, there used to be, like, a zoo where there was, like, a bunch of Pokemon that were sitting out with, like, signs explaining what they were. I think they had, like, an Omanite. And it's like, look at this extinct thing that we somehow have. And then there's a Lapras, and it's like, rumors say that on Fridays this Lapras teleports to a random cave somewhere. No, it didn't actually say that. Oh good, they sealed off the door. Okay, so no, they didn't replace the Safari Zone with an empty building. There just happens to also be an empty building in the middle of the town for no reason.
Wonderful.
Have you ever used the thing in the Let's Go version that goes here where it, like, lets you import stuff from Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
I still find that so freaking weird. I haven't,
I only used it, like, once.
I forget. When you import stuff from Go, do they have, like, anything special about them, or are they just, like, randomly generated stats and stuff?
I want to say probably randomly generated. I don't really know.
Yeah. Okay, well, Fuchsia was, wonderfully pointless, and I could go this way, but I don't want to. I haven't looked up what is available on that route. I'm going to save that for another time. So I'm waiting for the moment when the Earth suddenly becomes blanketed in a purple filter, which is going to be in another 8 minutes. So I guess let's go explore Celadon. But yeah, it's like I used to have the I would do, like, the Pokemon location guides and, like, the chart that has, like, every generation all for, like, in one place, and I did not update that after Sun and Moon, or after the Ultra games, rather, because the fact that you can catch stuff in Go and then import it to the main series kind of throws a wrench into that, because it's like, how do I explain where you get stuff in Go? Because I don't know how the game really works, I've not played it, and I know that there's some stuff that's like continent-specific, or like only is available during events, and I don't know how much of that is hard-coded into the game and how much of it is just on the whims of the developers to change whenever they want, so it's like, well, okay.
I really don't know. I don't play Pokemon Go.
That was a good area back here. So there was a building that had literally nothing, and there's a patch of grass that has the same Pokemon that are already on Cycling Road. I am glad that route exists. You can't get it here. You can't get it anywhere. God, did I ever show you that? There's this commercial from some random, like, used furniture place, I think, where there's a guy who just sounds like Sonor Cardgage. And I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. I'd have to look it up. But like that voice I just did, that's pretty much exactly what he sounds like. All right, do we have anything interesting in the department store other than just the usual crap? I know there's a place in the original like Gen 1 games where there's a guy who's like, here's the TM for counter, and it's not like the counter that I'm standing behind, and I always kind of wondered what the pun was in Japanese, or if there even was a pun.
It's a pretty bad pun.
It's good by early, like, 2000s localization standards, I guess, but yeah. Oops, I accidentally traded away my Porygon without taking off this item that has no purpose other than to evolve it. Oh no. Okay, what do we got? Hidden Power, Sunny Day. Foils attack that turn. What, Protect? Rain Dance. Inflicts damage every turn. That's a good one. I guess that's Sandstorm. Alright.
Sandstorm or Hail?
Yeah, Hail wasn't in Gen 2, though.
Oh.
Snow didn't exist yet. It hadn't been discovered.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mail is such a useless thing in these games. This is the only place
Did
you
that
can
say
buy
lonely mail?
I think it said lovely. This is the only place where you can buy lovely mail.
Same.
What, you're the only place you can buy lovely mail?
Yep.
Well, better get on that. You gotta start making it and selling it through, like, some kind of, Etsy shop or something. I don't know.
I could.
Yeah, this is, I don't know what I expected to find in the department store. It's pretty much what I was thinking. Is there still the kid that you can get a drink and get a TM from? There's no games here on the top of the floor of this department store. I'm upset about this. Okay, what a good place this was. Yeah. There is a game corner in this town. If only I gave a shit. I'm gonna have to buy a Porygon from it eventually, though.
Porygons don't exist.
Well, according to the anime, they don't. What the hell's going on down there? Okay, so in Gen 1, you go up here and you get an Eevee, and here I think I remember what it is, and it's very arbitrary. Let's see. We get a spoopy story. Oh my fucking god, what? I didn't know it was nighttime specific. I have to burn another 3 minutes. You know what? No, you don't get my attention now. You lost your chance. I'm pretty sure that's the TM for Curse. They're like, damn it, we've got this internal clock and we're gonna use it. Also, there's no hidden item at the end of this pathway, and I'm disappointed. My disappointment was immeasurable, and my day was ruined. No, it won't. Yeah, random party going on yet.
Caterpillar rave, yeah.
Turtle fence.
You shall build a turtle fence. You shall build a turtle fence.
I mentioned the turtle fence yesterday, and Joel was like, what the hell is that? And I couldn't remember what the context for it was, other than it was just some weird remix.
The turtles are becoming doctors. We need a defense. How shall we protect ourselves? You shall build a turtle fence. Those turtles that were climbing turtles couldn't climb over the turtle fence. Why? It was turtle proof. How? It was 3 feet high.
The only thing that loves heights as much as me is smoke. Again, that top quality Pokemon NPC dialogue. Oh my lord. Okay. We almost...
I wonder what it would be like to be an NPC and just have some person walk up to you and have that be the thing you say.
I always like the concept of just the game protagonist walking up to people and then just like, what do you have to say to me? And they're like, I like shorts. Like, I mean, that pretty much explains it. Like, if some random person walks up to you and is like, hey, tell me something. Like, what do you say to that?
I mean, I was handing out resumes once, and I handed one out to a place in the mall, and the guy was all like, okay, well, here's a question for you. If you could be anything on a playground, what would you be? And I'm like, swings. Like, I don't know. He's just like, why? And I'm like, because I like swings.
Lord.
I didn't get a call back. I'm kind of glad I didn't get a call back though, because that store like closed down in like 2 months. So.
So we're at the point now where there's other stuff to catch. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and just kind of do that and end the video as soon as I get them all. Okay. Any last minute observations or stupid statements to make?
I really have to pee.
Okay. I will allow this under one condition, and that condition is that I can't think of anything clever, so yeah, I guess we'll just be done. So, hopefully it will not be an extremely long time until the next video, and yeah.
Probably will.
It probably will, let's not kid ourselves. But, bios for a few things, and then
later.
End a video, and then, Shemp. That's it. It's kind of hard to say for certain, and I'm probably forgetting something, but I feel like Persian is probably my most disliked Gen 1 Pokemon. And the reason for that is it is ridiculously boring. So, the problem with Persian is that everything. End of review. Okay, no. So, with Meowth, you have this gimmick of it, like, collecting coins, being like a hoarder. It has the coin on its forehead and stuff. And, like, that at least gives it some personality. And then, of course, you have the Team Rocket Meowth, which is, like, major star of the anime. It's, like, his own, like, the Pokemon in the show that has the most personality out of anything, like, even Pikachu. And, like, love them or hate them with Team Rocket, they are probably more interesting than the main cast, and Meowth is kind of included in that. And then You lose all of that with Persian. So first of all, I'd like to complain about the name, because it's the same in Japanese also. It's literally just a breed of cat, but it's not even the correct breed, because this thing is basically a Siamese cat. It's very sleek. Persians are a lot fluffier, and I wish that this thing was fluffier, because fluffy cats are much cuter than the sleek ones, in my opinion. There's no kind of pun to the name. It's literally just the breed of cat. They could have at least done, like, Persian, like Purr. It would have been very low-hanging fruit, and not a good name either, but at least it would have had a little bit more effort in it, I think. But, like, basically, you have the most bland possible color scheme here. It's, like, a light yellow, like, cream color with basically no kind of, like, markings on it. It has a red gem on its forehead, so it's like a Golduck, which is also an extremely boring evolution of a, like, popular Gen 1 Pokemon. What does the gem do? I don't know, it's just kind of there. So it's like, if you're into cats, you might like this thing, but it's basically they just took a Puma and didn't change much about it other than giving it a dot on its head. And if you're going to use a Puma, you should at least give it the ability to fly and rear project major cities, just saying. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. In Gen 7, they have a Lowland Persian, which is the exact same thing, but with a really doofy-looking head. And I prefer that one because at least it's funny-looking. But it's, like, the body is the exact same, it's just it has a fatter face. And that one's a dark type, and I don't think they could have picked a more boring type to give that thing either, because they've been adding cat Pokemon in, like, every generation since 3, and they're always either normal or dark. I guess the exception is Galarian Meowth, because it's steel, but it's just... can we have something different with these cats? Like, even Litten is part dark when it evolves. It's just... come on. Come up with something else. I see people compare a Lowland Persian to Garfield. If anything, it's more like normal, but I mean, either way, I don't particularly care for it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what they could have done with this one to be better, but anything. Its one claim to fame from what I've seen is that in Gen 1, because the critical hit ratio is tied to speed, it has, like, a really high speed, and so it will always crit with Slash, but it doesn't learn Slash until level 51, so even if you're using it in-game, you're not going to get to make use of that. So, yeah, Persian kind of sucks. Here we have another one of the Gen 2 Pokemon that got randomly shoved into the post-game for absolutely no reason, and even more so than Slugma, in my opinion. This one is some pretty wasted potential here, because... Murkrow is the kind of Pokemon that you could potentially want to use early on in the game, and then might replace for something better later on because it doesn't evolve and isn't very great. So why they felt the need to put it after the Elite Four is just a mystery to me. This thing is basically what I would think of as like a Dark-type Farfetch'd. It doesn't have amazing stats. Its attacking stats and speed are surprisingly good, but it's extremely fragile. The problem is it has no moveset, which you can really say that for a lot of older gen Pokemon, but like it does not get a stab move over 60 base power other than Fly. And if you want to do anything higher than that, it's like Shadow Ball, which doesn't get stabbed. And it's wasted potential, but really that could be said about the Dark type in general in Gen 2. So it's a cool Pokemon. I like its design. I wish it was better. And so just to kind of get into the basic stuff here, English name doesn't really need an explanation, though I always thought it was Murky in Crow. It could be coming from murder, though, which is used to refer to like a group of crows. Japanese name is Yami Karasu. Yami meaning darkness and Karasu meaning crow. So pretty straightforward there also. So with this thing, they're basically like, okay, we're going to introduce the new dark type. We need to make some Pokemon that fit the theming. And a crow is a fairly decent choice for that. crows aren't particularly, like, evil or mischievous or whatever, but, like, I don't know, they kind of have that connotation to them for whatever reason because they're black. Oh no. And the design they went for on this kind of makes it look like a witch, and that's a pretty neat design choice. It's got like a little witch hat. It has the tail feathers kind of look like it's a broom that it's riding on. It has this kind of like crummy appearance to it. Looks like it's kind of anemic almost. Like, I don't know. It has a nice appearance to it. And then in Gen 4, they finally gave this thing an evolution, which it very much deserved. And the witch motif completely thrown out the window, and now it's a mob boss. So they kind of like retconned Murkrow into being a mobster, which its design doesn't really look like, but you can kind of think that it does if you squint. Because Honchkrow is absolutely supposed to be a mafia boss. Its name is Honcho. Japanese name is Don Karasu, with Don being like, you know, the Don, like the Godfather. And Honchkrow is pretty cool. It was one of those Pokemon that is like kind of hard to use for a while because it was a Diamond exclusive, wasn't in Pearl or Platinum. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you could get a Murkrow through the Pokewalker if you so desired, but you can't get the Dusk Stone until post-game. So it's there if you want to use it. I did. It was serviceable enough. I'm definitely glad they gave it an evolution. That was there were a lot of Pokemon that desperately needed them, and Murkrow was probably pretty high up on that list. So they still could have done a few more, but I'm glad they did the ones that they did. And the only other thing I really want to say about this is I don't know why it randomly started becoming a version-exclusive counterpart to Misdreavus starting in Gen 3, because it definitely wasn't before then, but sure, why not? I'm repeating myself again because here we have Game Freak forgetting that they designed a new Pokemon and they didn't put it anywhere in the main adventure, so they stuck it in Kanto for absolutely no reason. And I think every one of these has gotten worse. Slugma was wasted potential, Murkrow even more so, I think. Houndour even more than that, because this thing was basically screaming to be available like mid-game and have like a evolution maybe up in like the 30s or something, but instead they made it after the Elite Four, and they actually give it a really low evolution level for some reason, which does not complement its learn set. So we'll get to that in a minute. To get some of the basics out of the way, Houndour is basically just like a Rottweiler or Doberman with some like Devil Dog, Cerberus type of stuff going on with it. It doesn't really scream fire type from appearance alone, but that makes sense with Cerberus being like a hellhound. So it all kind of ties together well. There were very few dark types in Gen 2. This would have been a nice one to have early on, and not pure dark for that matter either. It's a pretty cool combination. But no, it was not meant to be, apparently. So the name is, you have the hound part, which is obvious. Dour apparently means sullen or severe. I don't think I've ever heard of that word outside of this context. I remember as a kid, I read like Pokemon name origins, and they're like, it's based off of the word hour because it comes out late at night, which is a stupid explanation, so I'm glad that's not actually the one that they went with. Interestingly, I do remember this thing and its evolution being rumored before Gen 2 came out as the Pokegods Doomsday and Doomsday. I am curious if there was actually some kind of connection there, and like people saw them early and then came up with those names for them, or if that was just a coincidence. Because I definitely remember those things being mentioned. But yeah, this thing has a really bad distribution. We already know where it is in Gen 2. In Gen 3, it's a Emerald Safari Zone exclusive. Again, it is available in XD, and that's probably where most people used it, either that or Platinum. It's not in Diamond or Pearl until post-game, and I'm pretty sure it's not in the like main adventure in any other game except for X. Not Y, just X, because they keep pairing this thing with version exclusives. Depending on what version it is, it's either going to be paired with Poochyena or Electrike. Now, Poochyena I can understand because they're both Dark-type dogs, although between the two, Poochyena is pretty lame, so that one kind of is the worst of the pair. Electrike, I'm not really sure why, other than the fact that it's another dog that is a two-stage evolution, but I don't know. The version exclusives don't make any sense in a lot of cases. So, but yeah, it's like, this thing is begging to be used early on. I'm looking at its moveset, and even in Gen 2, it's actually pretty decent. It gets Flamethrower and Crunch naturally. It's two, like, best moves of those types. And it learns them at not ridiculously high levels. It gets Flamethrower at 35, Crunch at 43. Like, this thing could have been a late 30s evolution. It also gets Solar Beam if you want to do a Sunny Day set. It gets some other coverage like Iron Tail, Shadow Ball. But no, you can't use it. You're not allowed to. Just Dark types, we're just going to banish them to the post-game for absolutely no reason. So I already just talked about Grimer, and Muck is basically Grimer but more so. There's a bunch of Gen 1 evolutions that are, let's take this thing and then make it bigger. And this is, it's definitely one of them. A lot of the other ones are animal-based, so they kind of just made it more mature-looking. In this case, they just kind of made Grimer bigger and blobbier and more angry-looking, and they gave it the Gen 1 triangle eyes. And I mean, I'm fine with it. I was fine with Grimer. I don't know what they really could have done with Muck to make it more interesting. I did see a suggestion from Bogleech that they could have given it like a trash can as a snail shell or something like that, but I'm fine with it. Fine with it as it is. And so to kind of pad out this segment here, I'll probably just want to talk about its appearance in the anime a bit, but to get the basic stuff out of the way, we really don't need to talk about the English name, and if you make a joke about it being spelled backwards, then you're on my ban list. The Japanese name is Bet Beton, and it's basically just the same as Grimer's, where Beto Beto means sticky. It is decidedly not an onomatopoeia. I don't know why I said that. And ton is just because it's heavy, I guess. So, yeah, that's basically it. As for Muck's legacy, it's pretty much remembered as, like, it was caught by Ash and then never used because he had his team decided at that point. It was just the 3 starters and Pidgeotto and Butterfree and Pikachu, and then he released Butterfree and kind of switched out some stuff after that, like the Primeape, and then kind of just never had a permanent 6th team member. He could have used the Muck, but just kind of didn't. And then gets to the Pokemon League, and he's doing this thing where it's like, hey, I am gonna just use these things I've never tried before, and Krabby just kind of effortlessly takes out an Executor somehow and evolves, and then Muck is the saving grace against a killer Bellsprout, because the Gen 1 anime was really weird and didn't know what it was doing. But it's a fairly memorable moment, at least, because it's like, how can I stop this unstoppable thing? And then he's like, oh, I'll just kind of smother it, and then it worked. And I've not really watched the later seasons. By later, I mean anything after Orange Islands, really. But I don't think Muck ever really got any screen time after that. I've never heard of it getting any, at least. So it just kind of had this running gag for a while of, like, oh, it gives Professor Oak big hugs, but it's a gooey, like, disgusting monster that will kill you if it touches you. So, haha, Professor Oak's dead now. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, when it shows up the first time, they're like, oh, it's so awful, we can't even stand to be near this thing. It even smells through the Pokeball, and then it's like, oh, you're fine. I'm gonna just handle you with bare hands and not have any problem with it. But anyway, as with Grimer, it has a Alolan form, and this one is definitely more interesting than the Grimer was, because it has a rainbow effect, basically looking like an oil slick, and the animation has the rainbow kind of slide down its body, which is really cool. Again, though, Poison Dark, I never liked Dark as a typing, and they kind of just threw it onto a bunch of Alolan forms, and... It's fine. I mean, again, I did use it. It's serviceable. I like the design of it, but... Did we need it? Probably not. That's really all I've got. Muck's okay, I guess. Beans and beans and stuff. Beans and beans and stuff. Talking about that stuff.
This is a good song. I like this song.
About that stuff. Nobody involved knows of all this stuff.
Good.
You should scream. No, he shouldn't actually scream.
Ah!
Okay. Oh, they can run.
What?
Was not expecting that. Of all the Pokemon that would be programmed to flee, Grimer would not be one of the first ones I'd think of.
Maybe it just, like, melts into the floor. Just, like, pee some out.
Now see, when you said that, I thought you said it pees some out, and I'm like, wait, what?